From campus highlights to the stories that matters the most, this is the first Marauder Land news update of the spring 2026 semester. Good evening, Central State. I'm Paja Williams.
And I'm Zyan Stowers. This is your inside look at everything happening here at Central State University.
The Marauders Activity Board put on their annual student fair Thursday, February 5th at the University Student Center Ballroom. Students of all majors got to see over 40 on-campus organizations from the Greeks, Royal Court, the Boss Ladies and Bros, and even the Marauder Land Media Group. It was a great way for CSU students to bond with one another and see what these great organizations have to offer.
It's all about Marauder pride. I'm very happy that all of them are here today. I'm hoping that they all showcase what their organization has to offer. Join all orgs. Don't get scared to have to back down and say, okay, you don't want to join an org this semester. All these organizations are here for everybody to be able to talk to them. So just have fun and join the organization today.
There were also dance performances put on by the Boss Ladies, Boss Bros, and various Greek organizations.
Central State students will also have another place to get some much-needed tutoring to ensure they stay ahead of the game academically starting this semester. The Office of Academic Support and Instructional Services, also known as OASIS, has just opened up a new writing center, which is located inside of Wesley Hall in room 214. Students of all majors will not only be tutored on improving their writing skills, but also get the opportunity to be a part of various literacy-focused programming, including creative writing activities, a book club, and a comic club that encourages alternative forms of expression.
I want students to know that this writing center will have far beyond a positive impact, not just academically, but also developmentally. We are going to shape students' careers.
If you would like to learn more about the Writing Center, please contact Reading and Writing Content Specialist Cadmus Ennis Jr. at cennis@centralstate.edu or contact OASIS Coordinator Teron Dames at 937-376-6247 or email him at tdames@centralstate.edu.
As we start a new semester, many of us have some new goals in mind. See me, I want to go to the gym, get my money up. What about you, Aspen? What are some of your goals?
I want to work on time management and maintaining my high GPA. I went around and asked students about their aspirations for this term. Let's see if they have to share.
Make better grades and win nationals in track.
Welcome back to campus, students, and welcome back to the Marauder Sports Report, where we're bringing you stats and smiles. I'm Aliyah Ferguson.
And I'm Ethan Fields. Aliyah, did you catch Central's last volleyball game?
I didn't catch the last one, but I'm sure we did put on a good performance.
From intense volleyball matchups to statement-making basketball games, we've got a lot to break down. So without further ado, let's start on the volleyball court.
First up, the Marauders men's volleyball was in action on February 3rd at Beacom Lewis Gymnasium, taking on the University of Charleston. Central State University went the distance in a hard-fought 5-set battle, but came up just short against Charleston of West Virginia, falling 3-2.
Central State came out strong and won the first 2 sets, 25-20 and 25-23, setting the tone early with aggressive net play and steady offensive execution.
However, Charleston responded in the 3rd set, pulling away 25-15, and then edged the Marauders 25-21 in the 4th to force a decisive 5th set.
Ultimately, despite a hard-fought effort, Central State fell just short, dropping the final set 15-13 and the match 3-2.
Even in the loss, standout performances shined. Simon Falai led the Marauders with 12 kills and 3 blocks,
while Benjamin Latham anchored the back row with 10 digs and Bradley Patrick orchestrated the offense with 40 assists.
Though the result didn't go Central State's way, the Marauders showed resilience, competitiveness, and heart through all 5 sets.
Now shifting gears from volleyball to basketball, the hardwood inside Binkin Lewis Gymnasium was just as electric.
On January 31st, the Lady Marauders hosted Edward Waters right here in Wilberforce.
After a challenging start, Central State continued to fight but ultimately fell 64-38.
Despite the loss, the Lady Marauders showed growth as the game progressed, matching Edward Waters point for point in the 3rd quarter.
Desiree Stewart led Central State with 6 points and the team-high 8 rebounds, while Samara Gibson added 2 assists to help facilitate the offense.
Although the scoreboard didn't reflect it, the effort and determination from this squad remained consistent through all 4 quarters.
Now this next one, Marauder Nation, was a night to remember.
The men's Marauders delivered a thrilling overtime win, storming back to defeat Edward Waters 93-86 on January 31st.
After a tightly contested regulation, Central State completely took over in overtime, outscoring Edward Waters 14-7 to seal the victory.
Leading the charge was Micah Bays, who poured in 31 points and grabbed 7 rebounds, stepping up when it mattered most.
Meanwhile, Damani Smith-Powell added 4 assists, helping maintain control and momentum down the stretch.
Building on that momentum, the Marauders were back at home on February 3rd, and this time they made a statement.
Central State earned a dominant win, defeating Simmons College of Kentucky 80-50.
The Marauders jumped out to a 34-15 halftime lead and never looked back.
Armani Portis led all scorers with 22 points, Javante Randall controlled the boards with 13 rebounds, and Isaiah Daniel dished out 5 assists.
Next, the Marauders hit the road to Atlanta for a tough matchup against Clark Atlanta.
Central State battled hard but ultimately fell 62-55 in a competitive contest.
Micah Bays led the Marauders with 16 points, while Braylon Dickerson added 8 rebounds, continuing to make an impact inside.
And finally, the Lady Marauders also took the court in Atlanta in the matchup that went down to the wire.
In a tightly contested battle, Central State fell just short, losing 47-45.
Desiree Stewart finished with 13 points, Kiara Bond grabbed 10 rebounds, and Nashia Maddox added 2 assists.
Despite the loss, the Lady Marauders showed grit, defensive intensity, and fight until the final buzzer. Ethan, that was definitely a lot to unpack. But what a start for Marauder Athletics.
Absolutely. So whether it was overtime victories, dominant home wins, or hard-fought battles that came down to the final buzzer,
the Marauders continue to compete with pride, resilience, and purpose.
That's it for sports. Back to you, Paja and Zyon.
Thanks, Ethan and Aliyah. For our Quote of the Day segment, we will pick out quotes from historic African-American figures in honor of Black History Month. I had no idea that history was being made. I was just tired of giving up, by Rosa Parks.
See, that quote meant a lot to me. It taught me that Black women were always taught to be strong. How did that quote feel to you, Zyan?
I totally agree.
And that's all we have for the Marauder Land News Update.
Please join our Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube pages for the latest news happening on and off campus. And just remember,
we're here for you, CSU.